Hey folks, my guest today is Ravi. He's building a great tool called Groupfio.com. It's helping folks understand their analytics, especially related to their CRM solutions. Ravi, you ready to take us to the top?
Yes, I am.
All right. So listen,
So,
great having you on. This was back in December, I think, of 2018. You've come on a couple times since then. You were doing about 1.2 million in revenue back then. Where are you today? And then let's jump into the product.
sure. So, we wrapped up the year of 1.2 at the end of 2020. In spite of COVID, we're run rate now around 1.3 million ARR. We may finish the year at 1.4 or 1.45. We have to see how the rest of the year plays out.
Mhm.
We've added a couple of suites that have made a difference. So we've now launched up to 4 products, and they all interact with each other. So most of our clients use 1 or 2 of our products. So we're also trying to leverage our customers to use other products that we have as well, and also have an independent source of adding new customers.
hmm One thing that I always wondered about the business is you own 100%, right? And it's profitable.
It's profitable. I like to run it in cash flow neutral, but it is profitable if we do it that way. Right now, we plow a lot back in and always ready for explosive growth if necessary without having to add management.
Okay.
We can always add people,
How
but
do
we
you get
can't
that
add
growth?
management strength.
How do you get that growth? I mean, how do you run tests? You've been sort of flat the past year. I'm rooting for you. I mean, how are you trying to figure out how to grow faster?
Okay, so one of the things we're trying to do is our average price points on deals we've been focused on is between $2,500 and $5,000 a month, which is at the higher end of the market. So one of the things we're doing is we're opening a marketplace in Q3 that will allow us to go for that $100 to $500 a month price point where we can get the volume. So I've put the challenge out to our biz dev and marketing teams to go from a 0 to 1,000 customers in 120 days.
How many
And to do that, uh,
customers today do you have?
today in the higher end, we have about 100 customers, but that's in total. Some of them on the lower end, some on the higher end, and some are actually running a free model. So uh,
How
our
many are paying
expansion is going to
how
come
many customers are paying you something?
40, 40,
Okay.
40 customers pay us to build up that revenue stream, right? The growth of the 0 to 1,000 that we're targeting is going to come through the resale channel and the affiliate channels that we have some experience in working with, but in the lower price point because we can't go with the direct sales force against those accounts. It's just not economically viable. So we're changing the model, and that's how we're going to expand going forward.
How many resellers today have you recruited where they've actually sold at least one new customer?
Okay, so we have 2 successful resellers today, one of who we recruited in the last 30 days. We have 2 more that are starting in the next 30 days because we have to chime them out. And they have 5 customers each they plan to bring on board in the first 90 days.
And what do you pay the resellers when they bring you a customer?
Our model is 30 points on the first year, 15 on the second year, and a trailing 5 life to date.
Okay. And why did you pick that model?
Because we want to incent them for year 1 to get a high growth, and then we think second year you should scale back because the effort's less. And from third year on, we want to have a residual in play because we want them to be comfortable with what they have. We will play with the model a little bit as we get more experience, but we also don't want to have margin erosion. At the same time, we want to have some retention strategy in the channel so they enjoy having some residual revenue, but the focus is in acquiring new customers.
hmm And are you profitable still today?
Yes, we are.
How much per month?
Um, okay, remember I run cash flow neutral, but so if I run a P&L, it will run somewhere between 15 and 18 points, depending on how much R&D we decide to book back in the business.
You'll take 15 to 20 grand to the bottom line every month, and many times you'll reinvest that to R&D.
Yep, I'll go back to R&D.
And what is R&D? So how many engineers today and what things are they exploring?
Okay, so today we have a total of 15 engineers. Three of them are dedicated. In fact, two of them are focused intensely on just brand new stuff, just creative stuff, right? So they would play around with Python, with high performance, with going after big data sets, going after open source, and allowing them to be more creative. The rest of them are just focusing on feature development within the application. And we're also changing our architecture. So instead of using a lot of source code management with GitHub and branches, we're trying to go to much more to feature management and feature development. So it's a much more efficient method of delivering. So they're trying to experiment with that and get that done right.
Mm-hmm. And what's the total team size today?
Total team size across the entire company is 40.
40.
And we're split in 3 countries. So,
yep. Yeah, I mean, you've sort of been flirting with it. I mean, even when you came back on first in December of 2018, right? You had about 40 people on the team, 1.2 in revenue, declined a little during COVID. Now you're recovering from COVID. I'm just curious, for you, I mean, if someone came to you and offered you something like $2 million all cash up front, I mean, do you sell the business?
No, I wouldn't, because we're underperforming. So that means there's an opportunity as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to keep this for the next 18 to 24 months and demonstrate that we can get a 40, 50% growth rate and have a 20% EBITDA at least. And I think we can well set to do that. But
you've been trying to do that since 2018, and you will always be optimists about the future. So you will always think that
that's right.
Years you'll grow it. So
absolutely.
When does it run out? When do you say, if I don't hit this growth rate by this date, I'm selling?
Okay, so I've set that price point for 2.5 to 3 years from now. If I don't make this break, I'm going to hand the reins to somebody else and say, here's what I've built. Obviously, we're making some mistakes. Come in and do what you can with it.
So when I interview in 2023, if you're still doing about $1 million a year in revenue, you'll say, Nathan, help me sell it for $2 or $3 million. I'm moving on.
Actually, if I'm still doing that in April of next year, I'll be coming to you and saying, let's go find someone. Right. I don't intend to stay at this level.
Interesting. And so let's brainstorm for a second. Let's say you did exit. You have 2 million. Now, do you own 100%? So you have 2 million cash now in the bank. Post tax, maybe it's 4 million. What do you do next?
I'll open another firm and I'll go into pure analytics AI with less overhead, but focus specifically on pincer hit applications that are going to generate revenue and value, but very focused. Pincer hit is very focused, targeted area. Right now, our ICR platform is very broad. It's for retail, SMB, and it's a very broad platform. If I'm going to build the next SaaS, I'm going to go for a specific, solve one problem and one problem only, and go deep. And where there's at least,
you know what niche you'd go deep in?
Yes, I would. The niche I would go in is there's a lot of work being done on hyper-personalization, but it's an overused word. And nobody's really figured out how to marry all of the social media data, all the transaction log data, and market this message to this person. That kind of analytics is not easy to find. And I think we can give a point solution just for that one alone. And if I do that, I'd have like 5 engineers and I'd build out one thing and be really good at it. That way we can have multiple people use that platform.
So the obvious question is, why don't you do that now?
I'm building it. I just don't have the money to finish it. I'm short for strong engineers to do that at this point. So I have to invest right now.
You said you need to do 4 or 5 engineers to do that. You have 15 today. So fire 10 of them, have more cash flow, double down on 5, and build this thing you want to build.
Yeah. I can, and that's a decision that I'm going to do within the Q1. I don't want to make that decision now because I have an existing business and I got to grow it. I've got certain things in play. I got commitments to channel resellers. I got to deliver certain features and certain things they're looking for as well. And they're deep dives in specific industry sectors.
Yep. All right, Ravi. Now, when these 40 customers, ones that are paying you, are they sticking? What's your churn?
Our churn is like less than 1%. People that have been with us for 10 years, 8 years, 5 years. So they don't typically leave because they like the model. It's very economical and very strong.
Very good. All right, let's wrap up with the famous five. Number one, favorite business book.
Business book for me still is Good to Great. I like that book. There's a lot of things in it.
Number two, is there a founder you're following or studying?
Elon Musk is very interesting. He's very diversified, and I just like the way he goes about inventing.
Number three, what's your favorite online tool for building Groupfio besides your own?
I've liked what Atlassian has done. They're interesting what they have executed.
Number four, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
I get 6.5. On the weekends, I get 8.
That's great. In situation, married, single, kids?
Oh, married with 4 lovely kids, and all of them doing great.
Oh, that's great. And how old are you, Ravi?
I'm 59.
59. The big 6.
Going to be 60 in 2 weeks.
That's exciting. Happy early birthday.
Coming up in 2 weeks.
All right.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Nathan.
What's something you wish you knew when you were 20?
I was always going to be a pilot. I wanted to be an astronaut, and maybe with Branson finishing what he's doing, it's one of the incentives to sell is to take that rocket ship up there.
There you go. Pay for that seat on Virgin Galactic. Guys, there you have it. Groupfio playing in the analytics and ITRM space. They've been flat, caught around 1 to 1.3 million in revenue for the past couple of years, but Ravi's got a good plan with resellers to start scaling that much faster. They are profitable, so they don't have any timelines they have to meet. They have 40 customers and a total team size of about 40 people. Ravi, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thank you, Nathan. Appreciate it.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers. They try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.